So you're suggesting that Yeshua, Jesus, was a short hair?
I am, although maybe I was hoping maybe he'd be a long hair since I used to have long hair. But yeah, I think he was a short hair. And I've got 3 main reasons for that. First, it's hot here. There's no way else to say. We've been here for a little over a year and it's hot. And, I'm not saying he necessarily shaved his head, but I think he wore it shorter. And I don't know necessarily if he had a beard or if he had payas. He would have not trimmed the edge of his beard, if you want to translate it that way, or something. He did something to fulfill the commandment in Torah, but I think the majority of his hair was shorter. A second reason for that is, as Cassidy has found out several times in the last year, lice are prevalent. And the winters aren't very harsh here like they are in Kansas, for example, especially this last winter. And so there's just more lice because they don't die out with the cold. And having shorter hair makes it a lot easier, as Leah knows, to deal with the lice. And so that's my second reason. We've also found lice, we being, not me, but archaeologists have found lice that go back to this period, so it's not unusual. So it makes sense that they would want to do something to prevent it if you've ever had lice. And then my third reason is a scriptural reason, and it's based out of John chapter 12. And this is the story where Mary pours the oil of spikenard on Yeshua's feet. And if you recall, she uses her hair to wipe his feet. So that's interesting. And then we have another example of that in Luke chapter 7, where I think it's actually a different story, or a different woman who does a similar thing. And so you have again, on other archaeological evidence, we know that the average common woman in the village life in Israel in the 1st century did have long hair, and this plays it out with these 2 stories based on literary evidence and archaeological evidence. And then what I'm suggesting is, as we turn the page to chapter 13 of John, we see the story when Yeshua is washing his disciples' feet. And I think, based on this story with Mary, that Yeshua would have done something similar if he had been a long hair, and he would have used his hair to wipe the disciples' feet, because this whole posture with the disciples is this: he's trying to show them how to be a servant, and that the slave is not greater than the master, and the one who is sent is not greater than the one who sends. And so he's being the servant leader. And so he actually uses this outer garment, which is the next best thing to using your hair, because he's actually wearing, something's wearing, not just a towel, a separate towel, but his clothing. And that's how he teaches them. And so it makes sense to me, based on these 3 evidences, that Yeshua was in fact a short hair.
The first 2 I fully support. The last, the biblical proof, is a bit of a stretch. I'd like to see some more proof.
I don't think he would want Mary to show him up on how to be a servant.
Fair enough.